Okay, today we're doing a video review. This is a 2019 Honda Odyssey Elite. This is my own vehicle. I've owned this for almost 10 months now. This is not going to be like a review where I borrowed the car from a dealer and just giving you a list of all the features. That's what a lot of the reviews on YouTube are. This is actually, I own the vehicle. I've driven it a lot. We have almost 10,000 miles on it. I'm going to go through things we like, dislike. So watch the whole video because the list of dislikes is a lot longer than the likes. All right, guys, so just to give you some perspective, we came from a 2014 Honda Odyssey Elite. So what we have now is the 2019 Honda Odyssey Elite. So we basically just kind of upgraded to the new model year. So in 2018, they came out with the new generation, the new body style, the new interior, and after looking at the some of the information, we're like, hey, it's got a lot of neat features. It's got like some new safety information, safety features, some technology's upgraded, the interior's different. So we figured we'd look into it, and we ended up buying a new one in 2019. And so one of the things that we like about it, so there are some things we like about it, also some things we dislike. So to give you some information on things we like the look of the vehicle is nice. It does look good. You know, the styling is nice. They've redone the track where the door slides. They've redone that. It no longer has a big gap. You know, it's more hidden. The body lines are a little kind of smoother, I think. It's got like LED. It's got like LED running lights in the front. The Honda badge. This is kind of a smooth plastic. This is where the Honda sensing stuff goes on. So overall, it's a good-looking vehicle aesthetically. You know, the 19-inch wheels on the Elite trim, I think, make it look good too. So we do like the look of it. It looks good, and also the interior. The interior looks good as well. We like the look of how the interior looks. Another thing we like is our previous Elite did not have the ventilated seats. So this has heated and cooled seats. That's a nice feature that was now an option. With the leather seats in the summer, the darker seats, it does get hot. So the ventilated seats, that's a nice option. Okay, here in the back seat, one thing that's nice with these seats is they have this sliding function. So we have the middle seat out, so that at least with the Elite trim, you can take the middle seat out. So we have 4 kids, so we just have 2 in the second row, 2 in the third row. But sometimes, to make a bigger opening over here, you just lift up this handle here and the seats slide together. So you can have an opening to the back this way, or you can leave them separated like that. So that's kind of neat. The other one didn't do that as far as the seats were concerned. Okay, down here in the back, you see this is where your HDMI inlet is, and then it has 2 USBs right here. So that's kind of nice. You have at least 2 USB ports in the second row, and you got the HDMI to hook into the TV here. So here's the screen on this. So the Elite version previously was a dual, had like it was not as tall, but it was wider. So it was a wider screen, and it had dual screen capability. This one just has the single screen. It's a little more clear of a screen, so that's good. But the DVDs is kind of what the kids are watching the most of on that. So, but you can hook in through an HDMI port. You can hook in like that Fire Cube. We would hook that in and stream Netflix, because they has some built-in apps, but it's like Spotify and PBS Kids, which seem kind of worthless. So you got to have some kind of external device, some kind of Roku or Fire Stick to access the apps that you actually want to have. One other thing we like about the Odyssey Elite is it does drive nice. So it's very smooth driving, very comfortable. The seats are very comfortable. A lot of the driving functions, I mean, it does drive nice. So that's one thing that's an appealing to it, is it's not an uncomfortable vehicle to drive in. You know, kids are comfortable, wife and I are comfortable here, so it's a comfortable vehicle to drive. But there are some things that we don't like about it, and I'm going to get into those in just a minute. So one of the things that kind of attracted us to the new features on the new Odysseys was, like, you know, some of this is the cruise control. It's adaptive cruise control, so it'll sense vehicles in front of you and slow you down. Has lane keep assist, so it'll keep the vehicle in the lane if you can't drift. It has like a heated steering wheel. This wasn't on the old one, which that's kind of a nice feature. And then one thing that I thought would be nice is the rain sensing windshield wipers. Now the windshield wipers don't work like they should. Maybe there's an issue with the vehicle, I don't know what it is, but when you turn it on automatic wipers, you can adjust the sensitivity with this dial here. It just doesn't seem it picks up the sensitivity of the rain. So we end up just having to use manual mode on this anyways. So the rain sensing wipers feature has turned out to be kind of a bust. It doesn't work like it should. It's not helpful. You have to use the manual mode anyways, so it's kind of a wasted feature in my opinion. Another feature the 2018 and 19s come with is this auto start stop feature. This isn't a feature. This shouldn't be something they advertise. This is like a penalty, I think. So what this does is when your vehicle you're fully stopped. Let's say you're at a stoplight, you're at a drive-through, you've got your foot on the brake, and the vehicle's warmed up. It shuts off the engine, and I absolutely hate it because it seems like if you're trying to turn the wheel, the steering wheel freezes up because the power's off. If you need to hurry and get across traffic or, make a sudden move, for example, you can't because the engine's turned off. So first thing I get in when I start the vehicle up, I turn auto start stop off. I hate the feature. I think it's completely worthless as far as functionality is concerned. It's more of a hindrance than it is anything. Okay, as far as some of the driving aids, the cruise control, lane keep assist, I thought those would be really helpful, and I don't really like them that much. I wish this had just regular cruise control where I set it at 70 miles an hour and it just goes. The fact that when you adjust the range, and I want to do a driving portion of this so you can kind of see, but you can adjust the range on how close you can get to the car in front of you. Even at the closest setting, it's still like a 3-car gap, and cars are darting in and out of your space. It jerks the car back because it's people right in front of you. So I don't, especially in traffic, this isn't helpful at all, the cruise control. Lane keep assist, it's okay. I could definitely do without it. This isn't something that I would say is a must-have on a vehicle because it's not very smart a lot of times, and isn't that helpful. Okay, another feature that the new Odysseys are boasting is this wireless charging pad here. So this isn't helpful for me. I have an old iPhone 7, and wireless charging is not available till iPhone 8 or some Android phones. So my wife has a iPhone 8. And she never uses it. We've never used this wireless charging pad. The reason why, if you have a case on your phone, which I do, which she does, she has like a wallet case, you have to take it out of the case, set it on here, you've got to orient it properly in order for it to start charging wirelessly. So that's just probably a fault with all wireless chargers, not necessarily this one, but this isn't something that we even use, so it's not even helpful. So we just have, we use the old-fashioned cables here to charge the iPhone, so we're not even getting any use out of the wireless charging pad, so that's not really worth having at least probably the Elite trim to even justify having. Okay, one other thing I wanted to point out is the 2018-19 Elites, they have like the 10-speed transmission. It's a 3.5-liter V6. Surprisingly, the gas economy is not much better. Well, it's not rated for any better than the previous generation, 28 highway, like 19 city or something. If we look here, if I show you what this is just a mix of highway and city, so I'm averaging about 20 miles per gallon. That's no different than the other one. So miles per gallon wise, you're not going to save anything on the new generation. Is what we found. Here's a big annoyance. So this was on the last vehicle too, but I don't know why Honda does this. So it has a child-like lockout where you can lock out the windows. So that, like, if my kid's messing around with the switches in the back, I can disable that, right? I can turn that off. I can turn the window switches off in the back. But what that does is it also turns off these. As the driver, I can't open or close the windows either, which I think is really silly. Like, I should have full control all the time. I just want to lock out the kids from messing around with the switches in the back. It does allow me to only operate the driver's side window. So the driver's side window operates when that's on. But all the other windows, the passenger doesn't work. None of the rear ones work either when this is engaged. So I think that's just something Honda needs to fix. Like, the reason you have this is to stop the kids from messing with the switches, but it also stops me as well. So it's kind of, that's something that's kind of a lot of these switches. So this is on the driver's side here. This is the open and close the doors. A lot of these switches are from the previous model, so this kind of looks the same. I thought that would be kind of updated. And these really weren't. Okay, updated. Check this feature out. So I pull into the gas station, right? I need to fill up with gas. The fuel fill is on the driver's side, okay, but I got my kid on my driver's side as well, passenger seat. So I open up the rear door to unbuckle my son from his car seat, right? So I go in here to unbuckle him, and I just covered up the fuel fill. So you can't pump gas with this door open. You can't open the fuel fill door without this door closed. So it just seems like there could be some kind of a workaround where I shouldn't have to have this door closed in order to fill it up with gas. Okay, I'm sitting in the back seat here. The leg room is pretty good. If you can see here, I've got plenty of leg room, so it can be spacious. You can forward and back. This goes forward and back, which is nice. One thing I liked about the previous generation is it had the air vents up in the ceiling for the AC vents. Now this generation, they decided to put them in the door column, and because they're kind of like at knee level, for an adult, knee level, and they seem like they're a little smaller. So our kids have even had some complaints in the summertime. There's just not enough airflow from the vents. If they were in the ceiling like they were on the previous model, up in the ceiling where you can aim right at your head, that would be more helpful. So I think moving the vents down here came at a disadvantage. The vents aren't as good. They don't blow as hard, and you can't. A lot of time when it's hot out, you want the air like right on your face, and it's a kind of a longer distance to get it there. Okay, in the back where the DVD screen is, up above here, there's this like cabin camera looking thing. Okay, this is supposed to be kind of helpful if you can view on the front screen there. You can view what's happening in the back here with the kids. The camera quality is so poor on this that you can't see any details. So it's sometimes hard to see if the kids' eyes are even open or closed on this, because the camera quality just isn't great. It's not a very high quality camera. So I found that that's not a very useful feature integrated into the... Sitting here in the back, this is the third row seat. It's spacious enough that an adult can fit back here fine, so that's not a problem. One complaint we have, so another thing, they have the vents on the side. Again, they're not as helpful on the side. I think they're better when they're up on the roof as far as airflow on hot days. That's more helpful. One thing I think is odd that they should have thought more about is, okay, this is on the passenger side. There's an input jack and a volume control. So if you have wired headphones, you can hook in. That's nice to have. Okay. If we look on the other side, this is on the driver's side, the same thing. We have input jack, volume control. That's nice to have. They include the power outlet over here. Okay, that's helpful. Because the kids have like some kind of tablet they're playing with, or they need to charge something. But you can only charge from one side, so the passenger or child sitting on this side, they can't charge their device because there's no power over here. So in order for them to do it, we've got to run it either from the back, there's an outlet in the very back, or we got to string a wire all the way across for them to do that. So it would have been more intuitive if they had just include a power outlet here. Assume that everyone's got a device they need to charge, and give them a place to do that. Okay, we're in the back here. This is the cargo area. The cargo area does have good space. It does have a good area. It feels about the same size as the previous generation, so I think the storage space is similar. It does have, this is a little spot right here. It's like a little cubby. It almost looks like it's meant for like a gallon of like milk. Fits perfectly right there. So that's nice. We like that. This is that 12-volt source. So if the person sitting right here wants to charge something, we got to run from here, and they got to run a cable up to there. So it's doable. It'd be nicer and more convenient if it was actually just integrated into the panel there. But so there is a way you can charge from that seat if you run it from back here. But you might have heard of this Honda vac. This is the vacuum. Okay, it's a shop vac brand. We've used it a couple times, but we hardly ever use it. Reason why, let me show you. So it's got this big hose that pulls out. Now this can stretch. It stretches pretty far. I mean, it's not a small cord. It can stretch to the front of the vehicle. It's got a couple accessories here. It's got a nozzle here, nozzle that. If you think that having the vacuum is going to be cool and you're going to need that, well, it's not. In my opinion, it's not worth it. It doesn't suck up very well. Let's turn it on. I have the vehicle on. You have to have the downside is it takes a lot of battery, and the car has to be on in order to do that. So if you just have the accessory power on, you can like run it for like 2 minutes before you get a low battery warning. All right, so it's on. I'm just trying to suck some simple things up here. Like, it's not that strong. It's not that strong, guys. It's not worth it. It's not bad. I mean, nice to have it in a pinch if you spill a whole thing of goldfish or something. But here's the problem: you now have to stuff this. You now have to stuff this cord back in there. It's not retractable. It's just a big long hose that you gotta kind of shove in this compartment. All right, let's see if we can get it in one-handed. This is kind of an inconvenience to it. So, all right, we're getting it. All right, so it's back in. This is how you empty it. We haven't had to empty it because we haven't used it. But to my opinion, I don't think the Elite trim's probably worth the money you pay, because you don't need that. That's not very helpful. Well, I just pulled a shop vac out, vacuum, or at the car wash they have vacuums that are a lot more powerful and easier to use. So that's one thing that's probably not worth it. All right, guys, hopefully that at least gives you some information on the things we dislike about the vehicle. I mean, I might sound a little negative about the vehicle. We don't hate it. We like it okay. But coming from a 2014 Elite to this one, I don't really feel like we needed to make the change, because some of the features I thought that we would like, some of the driving aid features like the Blu-ray, the new entertainment or the new touchscreen, things like that. Those are nice. They're okay. Some of them don't work like I was expecting them to work. And I guess I feel like I wish I didn't upgrade. I wish I would have just kept the 2014 and drove that. That vehicle was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. We just felt like we wanted some of the bells and whistles, which we have now. Quite frankly, I wish I could go back and not buy the 19. I wish we had just kept the 2014 and because really, if I recall correctly, we sold the 2014. It had like 60,000 miles on it. Sold it for like $25,000. Okay, that's how much we sold it for. This, I was just looking at the paperwork. We paid like $44,500 for it, plus tax, title, license. So it was close to $50,000 when all was said and done. And so basically, all of these new features cost us almost $25,000 to upgrade. And when you think of it in that respect, it's really not worth it. It's not worth to have, a cruise control that you just you get frustrated with, or cabin watch where you think you can see your kids on a camera, but the quality of the camera is so poor. So there are, it's a nice vehicle. It drives nice. I think it looks nice for a minivan. You know, it handles good. So the overall driving experience is good, but the other one was good too. I don't think it's $25,000 better than the last one. You know, maybe a few $1,000s, but so if I could go back, I wish I wouldn't have bought this. I wish I should have kept my 2014 Honda Elite and driven that one, and we would have been just as happy. These features that we were thinking we were missing out on, really we weren't missing out. So if you're in the same situation thinking that maybe you want to upgrade, I would recommend personally go with the previous model, go with the previous generation, get a 2000 and a 13, 14, 15, or even a 2016. It's got a few thousand miles on it even, and save yourself the money, because it's really not worth the upgrade in my opinion to buy the newer model, because the features aren't that great and it's not that much of a different vehicle in my opinion. You're not saving on gas, it's not better gas mileage. So that's my opinion as an owner of the vehicle. Now we're going to keep the vehicle just because we try trading it in or selling it, we're just going to lose. So we're just going to kind of bite the bullet and keep it, and it'll be a good vehicle. You know, Honda, the one we had in the past, was reliable. It was a good vehicle, it's comfortable. So I don't think there's any concern there. It's just it's not worth the upgrade price in my opinion. So hopefully that helps you if you're on the fence, if you're wondering what an actual owner thinks of it compared to a previous generation. That's what we think. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel.